I don't believe, that the state gets the right to tell a parent what they should and should not teach their children.
Tánaiste Micheál Martin made some controversial comments about homeschooling over the weekend, where he was basically remarking on the situation with Enoch Burke and his whole family who were homeschooled themselves, and he was saying that he thinks that leads to the social isolation of children and that he thinks it's much better for children to be going into schools. Do you think that was an appropriate comment for the Tánaiste to make?
I don't believe it was. I think Micheál Martin certainly ill-judged that comment. When it comes to the state care of our children in this country, we haven't been very good at that. That's all I can say. All we have to think about is the laundries, the Magdalene laundries, or the mother and baby homes. And indeed, 27 children died in state care last year, not to mention the hundreds of children that go missing out of state care every single year. So for Micheál Martin to attack the 2,000 children that are being homeschooled at this moment in time, I think it was ill-judged, and I don't think he would have said that about any other minority.
I'm sure if the Tánaiste was here, he would say that he wasn't attacking anybody. He was just saying that he thinks that having your children in a school setting is kind of more conducive to their development. What would you say to that as far as, schooling, traditional schooling being superior to homeschooling, as it were?
Well, I think this is. I will talk about the Children's Act, because that's really where the state becomes the super parent, and the state states that they know best and they've got the best interest of the child at heart. No regard for what the parent believes or what the parent does or how the parent educates their child and how the parent brings up their child. The state relies on various NGOs and various experts to basically that their decision in relation to children and the care of children, they know best, when we all know that bringing a child up in a family environment is best for the child.
Do you think that when it comes to the education of children, there's sort of a discrepancy in values when it comes to how a parent might teach their child and the way a school might teach their child? Because this is obviously a big issue that we're hearing now where it comes to RSE curriculum in particular, and people are thinking a lot about what's our ethos as a family and what do I want my children to be taught as something like gender ideology. Do you think that there's a big difference there in the kind of schooling that a homeschool child could get compared to a child who's in an actual classroom?
Absolutely. I do believe that there is a difference when it comes to homeschooling and state schooling and public schools and private schools. I do believe that there is a difference there. Now, it all depends on the parents and what the input the parent is going to give that child. But I don't believe, that the state gets the right to tell a parent what they should and should not teach their parents, their children. I don't believe they should get that right. And that is an overreach by the state as far as I'm concerned. You can clearly see by the results of these children that are going through the education system, being homeschooled, that they are 15 to 20% higher than the state education is giving our children in private and secondary schools in this country. So I think that the comment that he made in relation to homeschooling was inappropriate. It doesn't support the 2,000 children that are currently being homeschooled, and I think it was very ill thought out by Micheál Martin.
Do you think there's kind of a pattern of politicians trying to encroach on parental rights in Ireland?
Absolutely. Well, look at the Children's Act. Clearly states that the state can intervene in the best interest of the child. Now, what is the best interest of the child? Is it something that the state says, or is it something that the parent states? And in fact, actually, the Act is very, very clear. The state has the overarching power over the parent. And that is the problem we have here in this country. So it doesn't make any difference whether we want our children to opt out or opt in of various parts of the curriculum. The state can ultimately decide that they can tell your children what to do and how they're to be brought up. That is the ultimate goal of the Children's Act. Make no mistake about it, it is what is in the best interest of the child, and the state believed that they are the super parent. That's it.